Hello, and welcome to Shelley Has Opinions, the hit podcast where the Chatfield girls try and guess their shy sister Shelley's opinions on a variety of topics. My name is Holly Chatfield Flanagan, and with me is...
Shelley Chatfield Allison.
And we also have...
Julie Chatfield Miller.
And finally, our sister expert for today is...
Kellie Chatfield Whitcomb.
Hey guys, we're together again forever all the time.
Again!
Hooray! And here's something else to hooray about. I am sitting in my newly decorated podcast studio, and I want to fill you guys in on how this new studio is going to affect my podcasting.
Ooh, I would love to hear that.
I wrote down new podcast studio, new you. These are my notes to myself to be better.
It sounds like a self-help book, too.
For the modern age. So here's the thing, guys. I usually tell my shy sister Shelley that she's so shy, but I think this time I will, in my new podcast studio that really reinvigorates me to be my best self, I think I'm just going to fake it till Shelley makes it and tell her that she's not shy and that she's very bold and brave.
Good luck with that.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, and I think, like, with that, I think what I would like to do, since this new podcast studio is very Southern California, I think I'm going to just pretend that I also am in Southern California. So, Shelley, you and I are no longer in the same state.
Okay, that definitely helps my confidence. I'm too intimidated being in the same state with you.
And finally, my new thing, well, my old thing. My old thing used to be that I was very, like, bullheaded and bossy and silly. So I think now I want to be more refined, like kind of James Bondy. I think what I want to do in this new podcast studio is be kind of dangerous.
Ooh. What are you going to do to live on the dangerous side?
Well, I have a lot of disco balls in this podcast studio, and I think what I'm going to do every time one of you makes me angry is to pull off one of the little mirrored parts and be like, "Don't make me do it." But you don't know what the it is that I'm referencing?
Uh-huh.
So, are you trying to punish us or yourself?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it would affect us much at all.
Now that you don't actually know where I am in the world, I could be right outside.
Oh, no. Holly's going to cut us with a tiny mirrored square.
Are we going to be able to see it? We, being the viewers, going to be able to see it?
Wouldn't it be better if we just described it?
In detail. Word pictures.
I suppose we could do that. We can do whatever we want. That's the dangerous part.
Choose one thing that you would like to describe everybody.
I'm going to describe the disco ball that's shaped like a crescent moon. Does this crescent moon disco ball have a face?
Yeah, kind of like the cool guy from McDonald's who eats McDonald's at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is.
That's a commercial from, like, the 90s.
So, I'm sorry. Apparently, I didn't watch enough TV in the 90s.
And I did 100%.
But it's hanging from a thread.
Kelly, what would you like to describe?
Well, I would like to describe it and then have an explanation of it.
Okay.
Next to your computer is a little pillow with a skull and crossbones.
I easily 10 years ago was trying to support an internet friend who had opened an Etsy store, and I bought this pillow because it was one of the only ones she had. It's like made of felt, and it's very like a reminder to me to support the independent artists.
Got it. It's very cute. It's gray and blue and white. And for skull and crossbones, it is very cute.
I thought you were going to describe the machete I have on the other side of my computer. Shelley, what would you like to describe?
I'd like to describe what looks like on the wall the Lego bases that you build Legos on. It looks like black Lego stuff, but I know it's like sound waffling things, like sound dampening things.
Yeah, sound panels on the ceiling, on the walls. Yes, and I give one a high five every time I make a good joke. See, you didn't even hear it. Well, Shelley Gang, thank you so much for supporting me, this new me that I'm doing. And Shelley, your confidence has always inspired me to murder.
Cool.
Surprise!
Here's a cool thing that I know. It's this week's topic. Shelley, would you like to know this week's topic? It's suggested to us during the year of the submission by George Diaz. He is a friend of the podcast, and I met him through a podcasting Facebook group that I like.
I would love to know the topic from George, your podcasting group friend.
He's in the Shelley Gang Faux Show. Shelley, this week's topic is cinnamon rolls.
Whoa.
And Shelley, I know very frequently you're concerned that you won't know what I mean when I say something like a topic. Please describe what a cinnamon roll is.
Well, here in the U.S., I know they're slightly different than other places in the world.
What?
That is true.
I'm like ripping up my whole notes. Here's some Foley work.
A lot of places in the world do not do like an ice.
Duck!
No, a duck.
The duck has fallen victim to your rage.
Oh no. Holly keeps a basket full of sacrificial ducks for when she's really mad.
I was going with paper ducks, but cool.
No, live ducks.
The ones here in the US have icing on top or sometimes frosting, and they're like rolled up and like a jelly roll kind of style, and there's cinnamon and sugar and something bready. Bake it and then do what you will with it.
What is it in other countries?
I know I've been in other countries where there's no icing on the top. And the bready part is more of like a pastry than like a bread.
So, like, it has lots of millefeuille.
It's not like that kind of like crunchy kind of pastry, but you know, it's not like super bready.
More like flaky?
Like a wafer?
No, not like a wafer. like a croissant kind of pastry. You know, like kind of crispy on the outside, kind of soft.
Holly likes her
inside-ish.
croissants well done, so she doesn't know what soft pastry is.
I pour my international croissants in a hot cast iron waffle maker and just see what happens.
But yeah, so they are slightly different here. I know.
Oh my goodness, Shelley, you have ruined this topic. I asked you as a joke what a cinnamon roll was, and now George is like, "What? I can't believe."
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to be like throwing a bomb on the topic.
The controversy.
Shelley, how dare you be internationally food knowledge savvy?
So Julie's going to be doing the pro reasons why you should like cinnamon rolls. I'm going to be doing the anti reasons why you shouldn't. And Kelly, as our sister expert and our cutest little cinnamon roll. That's what we used to call her.
And she's got a tinier cinnamon roll in the oven right now.
Aww.
Yes. So Kelly's going to be telling us what she thinks you will choose. Are we ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Fabulous. Julie, hit it.
Today at the dinner table, I asked everybody in my family what the best part about cinnamon rolls was, thinking they would say an aspect about cinnamon rolls. But I turned to Theo and said, "What's the best part about cinnamon rolls?" And he said, "The middle." And you know what? He's not wrong.
So that's the best part geographically on a cinnamon roll to Theo.
Yeah. Exactly. But that just goes to show cinnamon rolls are delicious. That's gotta be the first point. Yum, 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 cinnamon rolls.
That's all your yums, Julie. You just used them all up.
Oh, no. I thought I would front load and kind of taper off, but if that's all of them, I'm done for. I love cinnamon rolls. They're one of my very favorite treats. One year, I made myself birthday cake cinnamon rolls.
I remember this.
Were they made with cake mix or just
Yes.
they were in place of your cinnamon
No.
or your cake?
And they had funfetti, right?
They had sprinkles mixed in. They were delicious. I love them. And I had one candle in the middle of each one.
Aww.
And then I blew them out and then I ate them all by myself. And that's true. But I do love cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon rolls so much that I attempted to make myself some gluten-free cinnamon rolls. It didn't turn out well, but I still ate it.
Are sprinkles gluten-free?
Probably.
I'll look it up.
Thank you, Kelly. We need to know this burning question.
So, Shelley, I love cinnamon rolls, and therefore you should too. Because I'm a trendsetter.
Yeah, you're the first one to do cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody else knows about them. You can't find a single recipe online.
I think that's technically true. You can't find a single recipe.
That's very true. Even for gluten-free ones, I was shocked how many recipes there were. Cinnamon rolls are great because they are a dessert that is socially acceptable to eat for breakfast. You can't do that with a banana split. You'll get looks at the diner that you go to for breakfast if you get that for breakfast, but not if you get a nice warm cinnamon roll. People will look at you with admiration.
What if you get a banana split on the side, though? You're like, this cinnamon roll is the main, and then the banana is my fruit side.
What if you got a cinnamon roll and then a banana split smoothie? And you're like, add extra protein powder.
I think that's called a milkshake, right?
Just if you call it a smoothie, no one will know.
That is kind of true. There we go. We've solved the problem.
I've high-fived everyone in my sound panels.
We did it. Podcast over. We did it.
I guess there are a lot of like sweet foods to have for breakfast. Ugh, but nobody really has like a Danish for like a dessert, do they?
I'm not going to lie to you. I've had them as an after-school snack a bunch of times.
Yeah, but an after-school snack is not like really a dessert.
If you have cake after school, does that not make it dessert? Because if not, then I need to go to school so I can have cake after school.
I know in my house there's a difference. I have to very carefully use my words because there is a distinct difference between snack and treat.
Shelley, I think I picked that up from you because that's what I do for my kids too. Okay, cinnamon rolls. Yummy. For all times of day, I guess. Depending on what your food values are. Theo likes to tell a joke and says, "What can you not have for breakfast? Lunch or dinner?"
I like it.
Unless it's a cinnamon roll. Shelley, cinnamon rolls are so satisfying.
How satisfying are they? Oh no, another duck!
Cinnamon rolls are satisfying from the beginning of making them to end of eating them. They're so satisfying to watch being rolled up. That just feels so tidy to me, and watching them being rolled.
Is that a tidy process for you? It seems like it would be messy.
To me, it is a nightmare. When I think about it, I think of butter flying everywhere. I think of cinnamon and sugar getting in my eyes and me sneezing.
Oh, no.
Okay, not tidy as in like clean, but like watching something go to its intended order, you know? Watching that roll form. Classic cinnamon roll spiral. It just feels so good for me to watch it roll up. And then slicing it, I don't know, also very satisfying to me. If you use a knife or if you use like thread.
Have you done both methods?
I have done both methods, but I'm not a very good baker, so nothing really works out as I intend. But I love it so much that I just keep on trying, you know? Never give up.
Julie,
Never
I
surrender.
feel like I need to ask a question. Is your husband a cinnamon roll? Because you keep saying you love it so much. I keep in my mind thinking, then you should marry it. I'm like, wait, maybe she did.
I mean, Corbin is just as tasty.
He's a snack, and his favorite color, golden brown.
I don't know if it's golden brown. It's definitely brown.
It was a joke for our podcast.
Do you use brown sugar in cinnamon rolls?
Yeah, I do. That's to honor my husband.
Do you use milk from a brown cow?
Do you use brown eggs?
I use brown milk.
Do you use brown butter for a little umami?
Oh my. All brown ingredients. But to make it easier, I wear brown colored glasses. Satisfying. Watching it roll up, slicing it, watching it rise, watching it like fill in all the cracks between them, frosting it. Have you ever like swirled some frosting onto a cinnamon roll and then watched it like melt in? Oops. Oh no. I went over my maximum. And then eating a cinnamon roll. It's the most satisfying of all. It's so wonderful. I'll shout it from the rooftops.
You love it.
I love you, cinnamon rolls. Almost as much as my husband. Corbin, I love you more than cinnamon rolls. That's just a testament of how much I love my husband. My last point is that cinnamon rolls make a great food for whatever you got, tradition-wise. So, like, if you celebrate Christmas, that's a beautiful Christmas morning food. If you have a birthday once in a while, it's a great birthday breakfast / dessert food. Any holiday, any special occasion, having an anniversary, cinnamon rolls. What else is an occasion?
Can I add one?
Yeah.
Here in Utah, there is a high percentage of Mormons. When we were growing up in Southern California, we were also Mormons, and we didn't do this. And then when I moved to Utah, and it was like everybody does this, and I'm like, I don't like this. But then my kids found out about it, so we do this. Twice a year, there is
like a worldwide meeting.
Yeah, a worldwide meeting from the leaders, and everyone here in Utah eats cinnamon rolls in their pajamas as they watch it from home on TV. And to me, I'm like, I don't get why people do this, and then we do it every year because my kids are like, Mom, do not forget the cinnamon rolls when you go shopping or else.
That's what I was thinking of, because I think Shelley started it here at Chatfield HQ.
Shelley started it.
And I didn't know cinnamon rolls were so versatile in celebration.
I can think of a celebration you would not want a cinnamon roll. Hanukkah.
Oh. Yeah.
Why not?
Leavened.
It's
Extremely leavened.
It would, I mean, unless you want to make it out of unleavened bread.
I mean,
matzah, cinnamon rolls.
Without gluten, it's hard to make it rise. So I shouldn't have wasted my yeast on it. So if they want it for Hanukkah, just don't add yeast and then it'll be crazy, but maybe still delicious.
There's a lot of other good food that they do have for Hanukkah and other Jewish holidays that I think it's okay.
Yeah, we do have it for every special occasion. We have cinnamon rolls. That's not true. My family's not as passionate about them as I am. That doesn't matter because I'll eat the whole pan.
I'm shocked. A breaded thing filled with sugar and then topped with sugar. It seems like it would be right up your whole family's alley.
Well, we do subscribe to the cinnamon rolls in our pajamas for the worldwide meeting of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I uphold that tradition. I was going to say tooth, line, and sinker, but that's a line from a movie.
I like it.
Tooth and nail, neither of which go into my cinnamon rolls.
Gross.
I said they don't go in.
Yeah, just now it's in my brain, though.
So, Shelley, cinnamon rolls are delicious and so great in all the ways, and I hope that you choose to love them as much. Well, nobody could choose to love them as much as I do, but for the purposes of this podcast, I hope that you choose the side of goodness, the side of cinnamon rolls. Thank you.
Goodness and righteousness.
Amen.
Well, Shelley, I have a succinct 5-item list why you should not like cinnamon rolls. The first one on that list is mirroring the first thing on Julie's list. I was a little freaked out when she said it.
Yours is delicious also?
Oh, no, I forgot her first point was, I love it. So her first real point, her first actual informational point. And because she mentioned breakfast, my first point is, Shelley, you should not like cinnamon rolls because they are the lower tier of breakfast food items. I like breakfast more than I ever thought that I would. I used to be cereal only because that's what I love in my heart. And I still eat a lot of cereal.
That's a false lie. Carnation instant breakfast.
Yes, when we had to get up at 5:30 in the morning every day during high school to go to a church seminary class before high school started. Yes, but that was because I didn't want to throw up on all of my classmates by having to put solid food in my tummy.
You're no fun.
Well, I mean,
Where's your sense of danger?
Yeah. Now Holly would do it, no problem.
but I love cereal so much. But you know what I'm really getting into, especially because I just finished watching Parks and Recreation, the TV show with my family.
Waffles, waffles, waffles.
Yes, waffles, bacon, eggs, toast,
Steak and eggs.
pancakes, and also other things like Julie mentioned.
Danishes.
Yes, Danishes. Honestly, can I tell you where my true path was formed and forged?
Where? How? What?
Thank you. A little over a year ago, my family's power box blew up in our house, and we were safe, but our house power was not. It wasn't safe. It ran away from our house for a long time.
Aw.
And we had to stay in a hotel. And guess what? At hotels, they feed you breakfast. And that was yummy, but it's a different breakfast every day. So I got to try a lot of different things. And guess what? I love breakfast.
Wow, that's shocking.
That I like breakfast?
Yeah.
I'm shocked at your shockedness.
Holly, maybe you should marry my husband because he also loves breakfast foods.
I'm still hung up on your high school days when you wouldn't really eat breakfast, I guess.
Yeah, okay. We all change. I'm 35 years old now. I'm almost double the age that I was when I graduated high school.
Wow.
Hey, this is not a referendum on my age. This is a referendum on cinnamon
I'm
rolls.
saying, where has the time gone? I'm just saying, wow, we're all old now.
Well, I'm glad that my anti-points have put you in a bummer mood, because here's another.
It's okay to be old.
Yeah, I'm not saying old is negative. I'm just saying, wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Speaking of having fun, Shelley, cinnamon rolls are a gateway drug to the cinnamon challenge.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, Shelley, the cinnamon challenge. It's very dangerous and scary. Guess what? It's put a bunch of cinnamon in your mouth and hold it in your mouth for a long time. And guess what? Some people inhale it and then choke and die.
Has somebody died from the cinnamon challenge?
I don't know. Expert, look it up.
If they were allergic to cinnamon, I'm sure.
Well, they'd be really dumb if they put it in their mouth.
Are you supposed to just hold it in your mouth? I thought you were supposed to, the intention was you were supposed to ingest it, like you were supposed to try and swallow it.
Shelley, how do you know how the cinnamon challenge works,
No, cinnamon is too expensive to just waste and squander like that.
Well, I think anything cinnamony delicious, like a cinnamon roll, might make someone think, what if I liked cinnamon way more than this and by itself?
So that is going to include a lot of breakfast foods, because there's like apple cinnamon oatmeal, or like cinnamon life, or so you're saying all of those off the table. Don't have them.
What I'm saying is the most cinnamony of all things is a cinnamon roll, and therefore it is the most dangerous.
The most dangerous game.
But don't play that game. It's so scary. Shelley Gang, hold my hand. Okay. Don't do the cinnamon challenge. It's very dangerous.
Just say no.
Here's something else I say no to. My nephew Theo, Julie's son. Because my third point as to why Shelley should be anti-cinnamon rolls is, have you ever heard of the restaurant Cinnabon and its very popular menu item, center of the roll?
What?
No.
There is a very popular restaurant in malls and airports called Cinnabon. They sell cinnamon rolls and other cinnamony things, mostly rolls. when I worked at a mall over a decade ago, there was a Cinnabon, and my sister-in-law would go and get center of the roll, which essentially is what my son Theo, he's not my son.
He's my son now. Just so I can tell him, no, he can't have this thing.
And the center of the cinnamon roll is what my nephew Theo said was the best. And a lot of people agree. In fact, so much so that Cinnabon said, I would like to put that on my menu. And it's essentially the center of a cinnamon roll. Not the outside parts, just the middle parts. And guess what? That's bougie as heck.
How do they do it? How do they do it?
I don't know, and I fully don't care. Because if you can't eat the entire cinnamon roll, you don't deserve the middle.
You're saying you have to put in the work. You got to eat the outside.
I'm saying the outside is good too and has its positive qualities. That's just like people like my daughter, my actual daughter Lucy, who doesn't eat pizza crust.
So do you also look down upon those who only like muffin tops?
Yes.
What?
And people who cut the crust off their sandwiches, and also people who peeled their potatoes. All manner of things. How dare you, sir? How dare you? So that's that. Sorry, Theo. You bougie. You a bougie king.
I can't wait to tell him he's a bougie king.
He'll love that.
He will love it.
He's going to dress up for the occasion. It's going to be swell.
He's going to demand some crown jewels, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. My next point is there are myriad of cinnamon roll flavored things and items in the stores and abroad. That seems weird because what's the flavor of it? Cinnamon? That's a marketing ploy. Don't be pulled in by big cinnamon roll. I don't like that, and I don't really have a lot of points about that, except to say when I moved in, our realtor gave us like a very nice gift basket that had cinnamon roll popcorn. My kids hated it.
What?
That sounds wild.
Sounds amazing.
It was just cinnamony popcorn, so...
There was a home spray that we used to have at Christmas time growing up that was sort of cinnamony. Mm-hmm. Would you say that is included, or does it have to be cinnamon roll?
No, I don't like the lying in advertising. I only like fully truthful advertising, obviously. And so that was like cinnamon pine cone delight.
I think it was like apple cider, what scented or something.
But that is not. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm so furious.
Cinnamon was a strong scent in it, though. I would say cinnamon was its main scent. Apples don't have a strong smell.
My apples do that I grow.
Cool.
Okay, so I have one more point, Shelley, but I have a previous point that I really needed to bring up because it is something that is formative to me and my brain. And my brand. No, just my brain. Like about a year ago, I read on Reddit. My husband reads Reddit. I'm not a big Reddit person, but I saw this on Reddit. It's a question that someone posed, and I think about it a lot. Would you eat 5 cinnamon rolls a day? Why not?
Wow, that's one of the big questions,
I love the question by itself. I love the forming of the question. I love the presumption of the question. It's really funny. So I just wanted to bring that up. It's not really a point, and I don't really want anyone to answer it because it's perfect the way it is. It doesn't need an answer.
We'll just ponder it in our hearts.
I feel like Shelley should answer the question, though, once she gives us her answer.
Okay, Shelley, make a note. Okay, Shelley, I have one more point why you should be anti-cinnamon rolls, and that is that they encourage people to have ridiculously inane arguments like, what is the right way to eat a cinnamon roll? I hate this kind of thing on the internet. Something that's very popular right now is like someone posts a picture of a roly-poly and it's like, what is the name of this animal and where are you from? And it's not like these people are like sociologists or anthropologists or something. We're trying to figure it out to make a study to put in the Breakfast Journal of American Eaters or whatever we said. But they're just like, isn't it weird that we're all different? No, it's not weird.
Whatever happening is bananas.
So I'm not sure I've ever heard like philosophical arguments about how to eat a cinnamon roll though. How are you supposed to eat it any
Like unspooling it versus just taking a bite out of it.
With your hands or with a fork.
or like from top to bottom or bottom to top
Or just
I cut out the middle. Because it's like the best part, and then I just don't eat the rest because it's garbage trash.
Holly, do you remember how when your son was little, he would eat a slice of pizza from the center outward?
And when he had little cinnamon rolls, he would eat them from the bottom up.
You mean those ones from Costco?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. Just kidding. It fully did all the time. But, okay, so what if someone posted on Reddit, what is the correct way to eat a cinnamon roll? And my son said, well, if they're from Costco, I eat them from the base up. And then people be like, it's so crazy that we're all so different. I love you, America.
I guess I don't see what's wrong with that. To acknowledge that we as humans can be kind of kooky and crazy and like, isn't that great and fun?
Shelley, apparently you're not hanging out with the strong-willed enough.
Can't we? I'm not even saying everybody has to do it the same way. I'm saying what I really don't like is the arguments or the acknowledgments of them, because why can't we just know, yeah, people do stuff differently, and why are we talking about this? But really, we haven't even gotten to the crux of my point yet, which there are people who are like, excuse me, around here we call it a pill bug. How dare you, sir? You are dumb and I am smart. No. Everybody has their own way. And guess what? I've had to go to a lot of therapy to realize that. Because I would rather that everybody does it my way. But, and by therapy, I mean sitting in my new podcast studio and really like trying to become myself, the new me.
Hashing it out with the ducks and the Elvis plate that's right there.
Just kidding. I'm very pro therapy. I love it. So the point, Shelley, that I would like to say in totality is please be anti-cinnamon rolls, because I think that we all deserve to hate them. Thank you. So Kellie, as our Shelley expert, you've known her for quite some time. You even mentioned being at Chatfield HQ with her allegedly.
Oh, gosh.
What do you think Shelley's going to choose about cinnamon rolls?
Well, first off, I have a pro answer and an anti-answer to each of your questions. Has anyone died from the cinnamon challenge? Not that it is told. However, Forbes did say, please don't do it if you have asthma, because it could trigger an asthma attack. Thank you.
My son has asthma. How dare he eat a cinnamon roll?
Yeah, I would assume cinnamon lung is not a good way to go.
Oh, yikes.
This sounds tasty, though. And sprinkles are technically gluten-free, or typically gluten-free.
Boom.
The end.
Although I hate sprinkles.
Whoa, okay, that wasn't the question at all.
Unsolicited answer.
But yeah, so I have known Shelley for quite some time, and allegedly we have been, at Chatfield HQ together multiple times, and I have lived with her a couple of times. But again, I may have lived there in my mind, but physically maybe not, so allegedly is probably accurate. So cinnamon rolls. So Shelley did make them, but I want to say she did eat them. However, I did not watch her eat them because I'm not a creep who watches people eat things. Because Shelley does like to try different things, different foods, that I imagine that she, especially with her international cinnamon roll knowledge, that she would want to try them even if they're not like the typical American cinnamon roll. So I feel like she is going to go pro, because if she doesn't like one cinnamon roll, she would try another cinnamon roll because all cinnamon rolls are not created equally.
And that was almost one of my points, and I didn't want Shelley to ding me for it because she doesn't like when I say there's not one recipe to rule them all, so therefore it shouldn't exist.
But there are so many. Like, we were making the joke of, like, you know, Julie putting all this different kinds of things in the cinnamon roll, but it's true. Like, you can have, like, a chocolate cinnamon roll and all this other kinds of stuff, and, like, you can make it extra sweet or not. Like, I don't like super sweet things. Cinnamon rolls aren't my favorite because the American version are typically very sweet. And so if you do like the icing versus frosting on the top, or, you know, you make it with brown sugar or normal sugar, or even like Splenda, you know, something like that. Because they're not created equally, I feel like Shelley is all about cinnamon rolls because there are options. And if she likes whichever kind she likes, then she can go home and make them because she likes to bake and everything and share.
Kellie, that was so beautiful. And you are so beautiful to me, you little cinnamon roll. Now is the time we've all been waiting for, the opinion of the MVP of this podcast, the most Vanessa, but secretly Ursula podcaster, Shelley. Whose voices have you stolen recently?
Well, I'm social distancing, so I haven't stolen any voices lately.
But how is Prince Eric supposed to fall in love with you?
He'll have to wait.
Can't you still voice virtually?
You know me. I'm not good with technology. I'm working on it, though.
Shelley, what do you think about cinnamon rolls?
I'm very proud of Julie for not saying yum so many times.
I tried my best, you guys.
I would say that it being a dessert acceptable for breakfast is true. It is typically very sweet and dessert-esque. I would say it's not alone in that club, though, especially here in the US of A. Mm-hmm. A lot of sweet breakfast
It's starting
treats.
to feel a little judgy. You need to cut back.
I'm just saying, breakfast here is a sweet thing.
It's not beans on toast, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the list of things it is not. Just kidding.
Yeah, but Holly, it sounds like you would love a good old English fry-up for breakfast these days.
All I see on the internet is people talking about how they're eating a lot more beans on toast. Well, because I only subscribe to British internet. And I keep wanting to try it. But I am not alone in my house anymore. And that feels like an alone meal.
Because you don't want your children to see it and go, oh, yum, that looks like it's for me.
No, it's because I want the ability to be able to throw it away if I hate it. And I just don't want to model that for my children.
Got it. So yes, it's not beans on toast. It's not a lot of things. But it is a breakfast food. But it is also, as Julie said, kind of an anytime treat and or food.
Goodness, y'all are crazy.
I know for me, I probably wouldn't eat it as a late night treat because cinnamon gives me heartburn.
How do you know that?
From a lot of experience.
And all of her cinnamon challenge days.
Shelley, no.
You're like, I can't
I take a hit before before bed.
You're like, no, I decline the cinnamon challenge. I would not be able to sleep a wink tonight.
Yes. So satisfying from all of the steps. And I feel like for some people, especially making cinnamon rolls from scratch, could be a challenging process. Like Holly said, butter everywhere, sugar and cinnamon flying everywhere. It is a time-consuming process. Like, what if you don't like to knead bread? What if you don't like to wait a long time? What if you want instant gratification? So that can be challenging for some people. But I also get it. If you do like the process, like, I know some people are like, I just love kneading dough. It's so therapeutic. Then cinnamon rolls would be a great way of doing that. You need a lot of dough. Great for traditions. I would say that's probably true. There are a lot of times where it's like, make these cinnamon rolls for a lot of occasions here in the U.S. There's almost no wrong day to eat a cinnamon roll here.
Except for Cinnamon Roll Memorial Day, where we remember all the cinnamon rolls who have
We've
fallen.
lost. And right before Thanksgiving when some cinnamon rolls are pardoned.
Yeah.
Not those ducks, though.
The ducks. Wait, Holly, I was thinking while you were talking about it being a lower tier breakfast food, you didn't give what the tiers are.
Well, that's because who am I to judge? You know, we're all different, but I don't want to talk about it.
And I would say also for it being a breakfast food, like lower tier, if you want to wake up at 5 a.m. to make cinnamon rolls for breakfast, great. But maybe you don't.
Can I bing bong into this conversation? So one reason that the small committee suggested this was because during quarantine, the Flanagan household has been trying to enliven the troops, the indoor troops. And one way we've been doing that is by getting like the Pillsbury cinnamon rolls in the tube.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You do not have to wake up at 5 a.m. to make those in the morning for your troops. And so I know, Shelley, that in your heart you are a master baker chef, but not everybody is. And there are corner cutters that you can obtain. Illegally, of course, but you can obtain them.
And I would say we probably did consume mostly like the Pillsbury ones growing up, which were fine and great. When Mom would add cinnamon rolls to the cinnamon rolls.
Delish.
That's an essential ingredient for cinnamon rolls. Chocolate chips.
I don't remember that.
Mom would add chocolate chips to the cinnamon rolls?
Every once in a while, she would put some chocolate chips on top.
That is wild. Gross.
For my kids, Grandma Chatfield is the chocolate chip grandma. And that is true.
And not a surprising title for her mother. And as for being a gateway drug, I would again say, I guess that's technically true. If you love cinnamon roll or cinnamon in this, you gotta try inhaling it. That seems like a bit of a hard sell, but I guess it's true. But I would also again say a lot of cinnamon-based breakfast foods. Like my husband eats a lot of apple cinnamon oatmeal, and he's not once asked if he could do the cinnamon.
Well, that's because he's
challenge.
a grown man. He doesn't have to ask.
Well, but he knows I'm the king of the kitchen, so he needs to ask.
Speaking of kings, do you want to make a statement to the Bushi king like I did?
No. But if he's going to use a tablespoon of cinnamon, he would need to ask. Cinnabon having the center roll of the roll thing, that's cuckoo bananas. I've never heard of that before. That's wild. And it does sound a little bougie. Especially if they bake a whole cinnamon roll, pull out the middle, and then throw the rest away.
It's also more expensive than the average cinnamon roll at Cinnabon.
But guys, I looked at a picture of it a minute ago, and it looks divine. It looks so good.
What looks divine?
It's called Center of the Roll.
Center
at
of the
Cinnabon.
roll.
Oh.
And once I can eat gluten again, you know I'm going to go get one.
And then you'll have to report.
To the Cinnamon King.
Now, I'll probably just chronicle all of my gluten and egg dreams when I can have food again.
Fun.
So fun.
It's so fun. Gluten is such an adventure. As for cinnamon smelling things being bad and lying, that's crazy. That's true of any scent. It's not the real thing. It's not like you're burning that sugar cookie and you're just burning a sugar cookie candle.
I want something that is like a cinnamon roll Pop-Tart to just be like, you caught me. I'm just cinnamon.
It's 5 cinnamon rolls a day. That's what I have written on my notes. Oh yeah. Would you eat 5 cinnamon rolls a day?
Why not?
Well, I'm going to skip that for a second and go, it encourages inane arguments. I would say that's not the sole domain of cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls are not the king of inane arguments on the internet. I would say that is the territory of everything in the world.
Isn't it weird how everything in the world is so different? But it's so the same. It all causes inane arguments.
Guess what, everyone? I love cinnamon rolls.
Yay.
I live also in a house with a little boy whose cinnamon is probably his favorite flavor. He used to just eat them from top to bottom, and by top to bottom, I mean just the top where icing lives.
That makes more sense than what my son, who's 2 weeks older, used to do.
I once baked a bunch of cinnamon rolls to take to the Rose Parade when we lived in Pasadena, and Jet literally just like ate the tops off of everyone on the plate, which was great. It was great for sharing. Then. They're delicious. I love cinnamon. I love sugar. I love bread things. I love a good cream cheese icing on the top. It kind of cuts the sweetness.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you like the cream cheese or the actual like vanilla frosting or whatever?
I like a bit of a cream cheese icing, like not a full-on frosting, not like a very thin icing, somewhere in the middle. I have made many flavors of cinnamon rolls over the years, including a caramel apple cinnamon roll.
How do you do that?
It's delicious.
No, how do you do it? Not how does it taste?
You think of delicious things and then you make it. No, you steal a recipe from the pioneer woman.
Shelley, that brings me to a point that would have really worked against me. So I'm going to say it now that you've come out as pro cinnamon rolls. One of my most treasured memories with you is making the Pioneer Woman recipe cinnamon rolls from scratch in your apartment in Pasadena with you. That's one of my most treasured memories with you.
Aww. I remember doing that.
We also made her Texas chocolate sheet cake, and that was another treasured memory.
Oh, and so delicious.
Yeah, thepioneerwoman.com, everybody. And Cinnabon.com. Those are the websites you need to visit today.
But yeah, I like cinnamon rolls because they can be like many different kinds. I've tried a few different varieties. I currently have used the same recipe to make the cinnamon rolls the last few times from Mel's Kitchen Cafe, giant cinnamon rolls. They're delicious, and they're giant. And that's the way my son likes them. The more cinnamon roll, the better for him. Because he would eat 5 a day.
Why not?
If he could get away with it. I don't think I would. I think I'd be sick and never sleep again. Yeah, cinnamon rolls, so good. I've been actually thinking that I want to make them soon. Again, like Holly said, to bolster the troops.
Shelley, thank you so much for sharing your opinion with us. And George, thank you for that very, very good topic. You're a good and smart fellow, and we like you.
Mm-hmm.
And we like cinnamon rolls. Well, some of us. Others of us are very disapproving of cinnamon rolls, not of you. And now we are moving on to our segment, $1 Million Ideas.
$1 Million Ideas.
And in the segment, $1 Million Ideas, one of us puts forth, trademarked, of course, an idea that will give us $1 million. Julie, will you please explain your $1 million idea?
Yes, I don't remember where this idea came from, what inspired this idea, but I took note of it and it sat on my notes for many moons. So the idea is Scented Oreos.
Huh? What?
Which sounds very weird, number one, but also hypocritical of me since last week we did scented candles and I went on and on about how I can't smell. But the idea is that you have Oreos that smell like different things, but then when you eat them, they taste just like regular Oreos. Wouldn't that be so exciting?
So could you buy like a potpourri pack of Oreos and just have like many different scented ones all together?
That they would complement each other. Ooh.
Like, this is a nice bouquet.
Makes it sound like it's like wine flavored or wine scented Oreos.
Or just flower flavors. Delicious.
Edible flowers. But then it just tastes like Oreo. Should I be saying Oreo over and over, or should it be like sandwich cookie?
What I was going to ask is, we obviously are using a trademarked copyrighted brand as it is. So how would you walk into, I think it's Menendez Inc. or something. Melendez. I don't know. But how would you walk into the Oreo company, Oreo Corp, and how would you pitch this to them in a way, like, just give me like a brief, like, elevator pitch.
Hello. Welcome to my elevator.
You own the elevator in their building?
Yeah. I recently bought this elevator from you. That was to get your attention. And then I pull out a pack of Oreos, and it seems like it's a regular pack. But then when I open it up, it floods the elevator with scents of all kinds, like wonderful, delicious scents. And then they go, I'm intrigued. They all say that at the same time. And then I hold it out to them and I say, eat one. They bite it into it and they say, this tastes just like a regular Oreo. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't smell like one. And they go, you're right. Here's $1 million.
Bing, 85th floor.
No, the elevator wasn't moving the whole time. Just I had pressed the emergency button, so that it wasn't moving.
It's just like in Grey's Anatomy.
Would Scented Oreos also have like a joke scent? This one smells like grass. This one smells like barf.
Yeah, just like the Jelly
and
Belly.
horseradish.
Yeah.
Yeah, except smelling it and then it tasting good would be better than the Jelly Bellies, because the ones that are weird flavored are very weird flavored, and it makes your tummy not feel very nice.
And you don't get any warning, reportedly. I don't know. Do you? Can you smell the Jelly Bellies, and do they smell different? Okay.
They don't.
The color is the indicator, much like in nature.
Well, except for in those joke packs of Jelly Bellies, there are ones that look exactly the same, and one is like milk, and one is like toothpaste, or not milk and toothpaste, coconut, and one is like
I
toothpaste.
can't get over the idea of Jelly Bellies growing in nature. Just like on a bush.
I meant alarming colors give clues. Because I'm such a nature buff, I know everything about this.
Yeah, you can buy a pack of joke ones, but there's going to be like regular ones too. So you can buy the pack of like Jelly Belly-esque, like these ones smell like, oh gosh, I don't know smells. Oh no, what have I done?
Cut grass.
You're like, all I know how to do is buy elevators.
And I have like an existential crisis right in front of them. Yeah, but then there's going to be good ones. What are some good smells that go together?
Like campfire?
Okay.
What if there's one that smelled like a baking like chocolate chip cookie?
Ooh, how about like baby? I hear babies smell good.
Oh my gosh.
Like Johnson & Johnson pink lotion.
Yep.
That's what our mom would do.
Yeah.
So here's my hierarchy of things I would want to smell if I could smell. Number 1, freshly baked whatever you got. Cinnamon rolls, bread, cookies, etc. Number 2, babies. Number 3, the musk of my husband.
Ugh.
Shelley, you don't like my husband's musk?
Shelley, but you would think it would smell so handsome.
But aren't people into that? Like the musk of their loved ones?
Yeah, to me, like, I would rather my husband not wear deodorant at all, and he thinks that's a nasty town.
I'm being icked out by this conversation, actually. It's all gross.
Wait, Julie, was there any more on this list?
But that's the hierarchy. I'll come up with some other ones throughout my life, I'm sure.
I think this should be a new segment. What does Julie want to smell? We'll come up with a better name.
That would be hilarious. Let's do it.
Well, this has been our segment, $1 Million Ideas.
$1 Million Ideas.
Shelley Gang, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you again to George Diaz for this wonderful topic we talked about today. If you listening to the sound of my voice right now, want to submit a topic for our very brave and bold and sassy sister Shelley to give her opinion on, you can do a lot of things. You can go to our website, shelleyhasopinions.com. That's SHELLEY hasopinions.com. There you can contact us. You can also look at pictures of us. And maybe we'll just make it all cinnamon rolls so everyone will be happy but me. Okay. Also, you can contact us on our social media. You can also find everything you want to know about our podcast on the podicongo.com. That's what I call the website. The podicongo.com. It's just podicongo.com. I'm sorry to everybody involved. But that is the family-friendly podcast network that we are on, as well as many other shows that can teach you a lot of things and make you laugh and make you think.
Oh no. Sacrificed.
But you can go there and find any episode that will please your family and you. Are you a part of your family? That's a personal question. I shouldn't have asked it that way. I'm sorry. But mostly, Shelley Gang, we just want you to come back next week, hang out with us. And you know what? Honestly, if you want to eat a cinnamon roll, just don't tell me. I don't want to know. Okay? Does anybody else here want to know? You have to say yes now or it's entrapment. Do you want to know if our listeners have eaten a cinnamon roll?
Why not? We like our listeners.
But would they eat 5 cinnamon rolls?
Why not? And with that, thank you, and I love you, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you.
See you later.
Bye.
Gosh dang it, Shelley. Where are you?
Podcube, podcasts from the past delivered to the future.
With Podcube's pseudo-linear 4D adiabatic qubit streaming technology, you can select any point in history and record it for personal gain.
What was the group dynamic with Australopithecus?
What brand of cigarettes did the Spanish Inquisition smoke?
Was Leonardo da Vinci a pants guy?
Or a shorts guy?
You can discover with Podcube.
Listen for yourself to the flagship Podcube podcast, Alabaster's Haberdashery, recorded on location in 1880.
Simply search Podcube, all one word, in your podcast app. Or visit poweredbypodcube.com.
Podcube, the future is yesterday.